Return Before we begin this reaction, I would like to thank our supporters that provide us the funding to film and edit this video. Since we are unable to monetize any of our React videos uploaded to this channel, it is our Patreon that provides us the funding to continue making our channel bigger and better. We have a lot of interesting and exclusive content uploaded to our Patreon, which includes uncut reactions to this song, reactions to Japanese releases, live stages, games, and more. Many thanks to those who are able to support us. Let the reaction begin!
Is it G-idle? Giddle? Geedle?
What is up with you saying something correctly and then just going
further and further away? A tease. A tease. A tez.
You guys really like Yoja Idol, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
What's your favorite song by them?
Oh my god.
You are now reacting to the girl group Yoja Idol and their title track Nude off of their 2022 album I Love.
Nude. Nude.
Yeah.
You're getting scandalous.
So,
Quel scandale. Oh.
that is kind of the point. This album is a story about me, not what anyone else wants. It contains one's determination to take off their pretense and reveal their true self, an unadorned appearance. The title song, Nude, expresses the real image of an undecorated individual by comparing it to the word nude. So the lyrics that boldly, sarcastically criticize the obscene gaze on the word are impressive, while the music video visuals feature references to icons Marilyn Monroe and Banksy.
Huh. Cool.
Have you seen any Marilyn Monroe movies?
No.
All right, well, the entire music video is just like basically a Marilyn Monroe movie. There's a movie called Men Love Blondes, I think, and so they're all dyed their hair blonde to like, you know, like critique and like understand to make a message. Marilyn Monroe wanted to ditch her public image that many people knew her as in order to show her real self, which connects to Soyeon's decided concept for this song. She was inspired by the quote from Kurt Cobain, "I'd rather be hated for who I am than loved for who I am not." In this music video, metaphorically, the members will take it all off or reveal their true vulnerable selves. And Soyeon says about this, when you see the word nude, you could think, isn't that too sexual? However, I thought of it as being my true self rather than being naked. My bare face without makeup is my real face, isn't it? That's what nude means to me. The song is composed by Pop Time, Kako, and of course Soyeon.
Man, heavy stuff.
Heavy stuff.
Good shit.
Countdown.
Oh, 3, 2, 1.
That record scratch though.
Interesting.
I love this music video.
Sing it, girl. Yes, yes.
I love it when someone nails the reference.
What a great, obnoxious rap. I love it. Sassy is correct. Wow.
Ooh, I like her timbre here.
I like all the backing vocals. That's really cool.
Whoa. That silence was deafening. Ooh. That was crazy.
That descending line is totally Carmen. Like, that's totally Habanera.
I have goosebumps on my entire body.
I actually really like the distorted strings, like the violin thing.
I love like the old age vibe of everything.
Very burlesque.
Again, this whole distant compound meter. Will we go back to simple meter?
Ouch!
Yep, back to everything in twos.
These raps are fire.
There's something so empowering about hearing a muted trumpet with Soyeon's timbre in the front of it.
I really like her timbre.
Oh my god. Yeah, this is sick.
The guy running in the back, that's me.
The imagery is endearing. I think it's great.
Little playful.
Ooh, that was nice. Little.
Vocal pressure.
Ooh. The bass line. That's lament bass, bro.
Is that a tuba?
What the frick is that?
Sounds like a tuba.
I like this bridge.
I love all the guitar stuff too.
Retornando!
Yeah, this works better with them all singing this line.
Like Rockettes doing the the high kicks.
Oh my god, that's the reference to the painting.
Yeah, thanks.
It's the destroyed painting.
I mean, the painting, when the picture got shredded post-auction.
This video is inspired by Marilyn Banksy. Thank you and love you.
Cute. So cute. Oh, it's so interesting.
Oh my god, this is like one of the best music video I've ever seen.
That was a very abrasive song, but I think it got a point across.
I think vocal timbre.
Yeah, it was so intense.
It was very nasal.
It was so forward.
The vocal is super bright, almost like an ASMR.
Oh, And I guess that helps with being like maybe like brash and like trying to get their message across.
I think so.
Maybe.
Maybe.
It adds the attitude. Yeah.
There was a lot of contrast in their tones. In the beginning, there was a very nasal, like forward, bright sound, and then it changed into a more like chesty mix that I really, really liked. It was just like a little warmer, and there was like a really big contrast. They weren't like trying to meld the sounds or like create like a unified sound. Each person had their own timbre and tone.
Were you drawn to a certain timbre?
Oh yeah, the deep voice, like the contralto voice. Let's listen back, shall we?
This one,
Yeah.
at 21 seconds. Who is that?
Who is she?
How's it pronounced? It's pronounced like Uki. 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 You guys like Uki?
Colton was so fast with that.
I looked it up yesterday.
That is a very, 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 very smooth sound.
Yeah, it's like full-bodied.
Every single time Uki came in or Soyeon came in, those were the times that I was like, okay, I'm listening. And specifically the beginning, how bright and how metrically perfect Soyeon's part was. Ba, 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 ba. And it was so nasal, it was like so to the point, so in your face, and it contrasted so heavily when Minnie came in and the brass came in and she sang and her timbre was a little bit more breathy and slidey. So we changed from this very staccato, ba, 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 metrically accurate to you know, like slidey, sexy, enticing. I love that. Happened multiple times throughout the song.
They've done before having Minnie start out for, I think, Lion, and I want to say Oh My God had it too. Minnie has the... Or Lion, I think, is... Minnie doing that sort of low, breathier sound has been an intro before, and so this time, Soyeon, I feel like leaning in, like she naturally has a slightly nasal tone, but I think you're right that she leaned into that, so it would contrast harder when a deeper sound, and then like goes even deeper once Ugi comes in, because she's the super deep voice when it's through.
I do like that musical phrase, because she starts on the downbeat, right? Ah, da, 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 da. Like she waits a beat. And that's just a really smart way to use repetition to make sure that the ear is familiar with it, but also change it in a way which provides development and we won't get tired of it.
And that 4 going into 5 is also a very G-Idol thing. Right?
4 going into 5?
Well, also a sort of a Soyeon thing, because she also did it with a... Getting back to Lion, there's that 4 going into 5, so... 4.
I like the piano thing at the beginning because like Like I liked the piano, the sound of the piano. It was very like, it kind of reminded me of like the piano in Danzon number 2. You know, it's very like, sometimes they intentionally put it out of tune because it's supposed to be like you're in a bar and listening to someone just playing piano. And I like really liked that. I think it worked really well with all the textures that they were doing, so.
When the violin comes out, I was like, wow, that's a really, interesting choice, because violin as like the main lead synth is really hard to like pull off.
And you think they did?
Yeah, they definitely did.
How so?
It's just the music production. I was like, that violin sounds so fat.
Oh.
It's amazing. Yeah. They even do like a tweak at the end.
I really enjoy the fact that they chose very specific, iconic sounding instruments of the era that they're presenting, and they use them throughout, but they varied it through feel, through rhythmic subdivisions, whether it be triple or duple, halftime or common time, what specific licks the instruments were doing, how they were affected, like the brass, bass, question mark. It sounds kind of changed throughout.
Yeah, there's a lot of cool texture stuff that happens, like just doubling of instrumental stuff. Like they double the sub bass with those brass hits, which is great. And then also like at the end of the chorus, like the lead synth doing the exact same thing as the violin. It's like such a cool texture.
It's unique, I think. Yeah, like.
In vibe or texture or rhythms, what exactly?
Maybe like the slight changes like throughout, like when you hear like the strings, all of a sudden it's almost like they're referencing some kind of like classical rap slightly.
The raps were fire too. They were great.
Why are they fire?
They were so unique and actually felt like personal.
It makes me forget that, oh, this is where a rapper should be, therefore there is a rappers here. Yeah, even though it is placed at the exact same timing, but it just, moment I hear her delivery.
Yeah. No, it's definitely, I think that's the biggest difference, that sometimes you're rapping as a rapper, but sometimes, and this goes for performance too, sometimes you are like a pianist carrying something out, but sometimes you are you, and sometimes you are you as the rapper and actually saying those words. I think there's a huge difference in performance between the two.
Yeah, I agree.
I love the intro of it, where she just like sat on this like kind of nasally, just like really in your face note. Like it really grabs you from the beginning of it. It just like adds in little 16th note stuff.
Yeah.
It's like cool. It breaks it up a little bit. Adds a little bit of momentum. Like it's great.
They had a lot of background vocals join in towards the end of the pre-chorus phrase, which built in texture so that when it goes, shh, yes, I'm nude, whispered, there's such a stark contrast. When it came to the song and how it developed and went into different sections, did you feel like it ended up being too repetitive, or did you feel like there was enough slight variation throughout to keep your interest?
Well, with the visuals, I think it was just like a lot of things going on, so it didn't feel repetitive.
Yeah, but audio-wise, yes.
Nothing really like captivated my attention the entire time, except for like at the end where like they started shredding the nude sign, which was like, whoa. And then it started giving like a different feel in the music, so.
Okay. So the request here is more dynamic differences.
Yeah,
throughout.
it just kind of stayed the same.
But like, I think like that's also like a part of the song. Like, I think like the whole message is like, isn't it okay if I don't meet like the expectations that society has for me? So like, it wasn't necessarily like a really high belty piece. Like there weren't like a lot of like high notes, and like most of like the melody was like pretty much in unison. Like most of the group was in unison for like the choruses and stuff. But like, I mean, like, it was still like engaging. I felt like it just wasn't like the high belting stuff that like I think people are probably used to.
Plus, again, like I feel like all of Yoza Idol's stuff is like produced just like it's so good. Like just super clean and like clear. Even with these headphones, it's clear. You know, very intentional.
I feel like it almost like sounded like the Habanera from Carmen. It was very similar, and so I guess like that kind of exoticism that's been in music for a long time still works in this context too.
I think they are doing a nod to Carmen.
Okay.
Whether or not it's trying.
It's a nod, exactly. It's a nod to Carmen.
it's not a quote,
Yes.
but it is saying this is also something that we're referencing. That's part of this story that we're trying to tell here.
And I think it works very well. Yeah.
I think that is so smart.
Interesting.
Wow, I think that's really smart because the whole concept of Carmen, the opera, I mean, that song specifically is just a very temptress type of thing. And she's recognizing the power of her beauty and just like kind of being a temptress and just kind of, you know, messing with a lot of guys and walking around in this very suave way. But I think that even the melody itself, just it's all very, it's got this feel to it that's, you know, it's almost sensual. You know, it's got this kind of flow, ebb and flow of like just a human being in a body.
I feel like also the melody gives off like the fantasy of it all too, and it was also like bolstered by the music video and the dance moves and the outfits too. So all about the fantasy. Like when you hear a tune, it's just like, oh, like I remember that from like my childhood or something. Hearing that is like, oh, bohem. You know what I mean? So it's all about giving the same experience to the listeners.
And they do that, what is that called? Portamento, like in the violin. It's not just bum, ba, 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 bum. It's like, whoa.
I remember that lesson.
You're saying, is the portamento help add that sexiness?
Oh, yeah. It's like when you tell someone asks you on a date and they're like, you want to go on a second date? And it's like, no. That's one thing, but it's like, no. It's like, It's like, I don't know. It's kind of like that. Like people do that in their voice. And I feel that's like what the instrument imitates.
The song is definitely flirty.
Yeah.
I wonder if it's not for flirty to be flirty, but maybe
Exactly.
more. I think it is using that as a message relating
Yeah.
to saying this is what you expect from flirty, and this is like, I'll give it to you, but also say you are not getting what you. The idea is there. I know what I'm trying to say.
She has the power, though.
But she has the power.
She has the power,
knows she does.
and she knows she has the power in it. Which I think in this, you can kind of relate in a sense to where it's like, she's talking about and commenting on the idea of the word nude, but not just that, but also the idea of, you know, the female body in media. And the thing that she's kind of, you know, I think paralleling here is the idea of that they have power. They have the power. So she has the power to be commenting on this and the power to be talking about the absurdity of the idea of why does the concept of nude have to be something that is overly sexualized? Why can't it just be like who I am as a person? It's just a body. It's just an anatomical body. You know, like male, female, whatever, we're all, or anything, we're all flesh and bones, and, you know. But Hollywood has over-sexualized the female body to a point where it became a selling point, to where it became something that was demeaning towards women and something that was harmful. And I think that her kind of commentary with Carmen is kind of, Carmen was a little bit more like, yeah, I'm hot, like I can do what I want, but still be careful. But this is like kind of taking that and taking that idea, but making it more like, I have the power in this. Just a little I've known about K-pop, there's a lot of hyper concentration on like how they should look, specifically how they need to look and what weight they need to be, or what like all that type of stuff. And I think that this was interesting. It's just kind of like a smack back to that.
It sounded both like refined and sort of unrefined. You know what I mean? Like the use of the instruments, like specifically like the string stuff, reminds you of like some like classical music, classical qualities, and that like, you know, when people think of classical music, they think of like astute, like refined gentleman or something, but it was like the complete opposite of that.
It's all like controversial women. It's like, or like controversial views on society or in society, where it's like, why can't I be like loud and proud? Why do I have to like, you know, I think Marilyn Monroe was very much like, this is who I am and I'm not gonna, yeah, like her nude photo shoots, she was like like, this is who I am, get over it. And I think that with the whole thing, like, your view's so rude, like, why are you putting your judgment on me? It's like, this is who I am. I kind of liked that.
It's like bare and like not refined, like with the distorted violin.
Really?
It just kind of sounds like a either bad violin or bad accordion doing this knockoff Carmen line.
But for me, I think that's entirely purposeful. I hear purpose behind it being so affected and weird and bad sounding, because there's a whole meaning to behind Carmen's story. There's a reason to why they had that sound that way and why it isn't 100% what was originally written for Carmen.
It serves the purpose of the song so well. It's like exemplifying the concept, right? Nude, bare, just like there.
What'd you think of their usage of that in this?
I don't know what the fuck it is. I forgot what it is.
Carmen.
Oh, Carmen.